Don't worry, I didn't just leave my R5 sitting there. I would never do that to my brand new R5 Mark II. He sticks with me for most of the day. But what I did do is test it out for you. And I even shot a real wedding with it, photo and video, putting it through its paces and even comparing it to my team's cameras, which were an R5 and a Sony FX3. Yes, we have a Sony on our team, but we forgive, we're tolerating. So does it destroy both of those cameras? And how did it change the way I shoot? That's what this video is all about. Let me begin before another camera is announced. I see you, C80. More on that later. So is the R5 II special? To answer that, you have to understand I'm comparing it to not only the R5 and FX3, but also to my R6 Mark II and Blackmagic 6K. What makes a camera special to me? In this day and age, I need a camera that has amazing resolution, has the ability to shoot slow motion, can shoot in low light, autofocus works near flawlessly, and can be used easily. This last part means I don't want a chunky C500 Mark II or an Ursa 12K, no matter what resolution it provides. Those days are over. So what do we have? We have the top of the line 4K, although perhaps not the top of the line 4K 120p, and 8K all the way to 60p in RAW. We have 8K RAW internally. We have had that before in the R5C, but now we don't need that extra power bank and the fear of getting only 2 minutes before the camera catches on fire or shuts off due to the tiny battery syndrome. Yeah, that's a real thing, tiny battery syndrome? Nah, we're not gonna get into that. In fact, there's an optional yet necessary and expensive, not to forget loud, grip with a fan that allows you to film without overheating. And I shot for 12 hours with a total of 4 batteries, all the new ones in 100-degree Temecula heat. Temecula is kind of east of San Diego and it's really hot. But there was no overheating with the camera, and the 4 batteries with the grip lasted me the entire day with some battery left over. It felt like I was shooting with the R3's battery. So in the resolution regard, the R5 and FX3 cannot compete. In fact, in low light, I think the R5 II was on par with the FX3, all the way up to 12,800. When I'm comparing at those ISOs, I cannot tell which camera is which. They both look amazing. The Canon isn't overly sharpened and the detail isn't completely destroyed thanks to in-camera noise reduction. And obviously in the RAW formats, there is no noise reduction applied, so it does look grainy, just like it always has since the C200 days. To me, it's obvious that it has more dynamic range than the original R5 in the video settings, although for photos, it looks pretty similar to me. And it looks just as good as the FX3 in terms of dynamic range for video, but again, with better detail and better color because of course it's a Canon. I'm still jealous of the FX3 because it comes with the audio handle and Canon still doesn't make their own. We now have unlimited recording and C-Log 2, finally, praise be to the Canon gods. With the grip, it's heavier but more stable, and it still feels lighter than using a C70. You can also power it with a V-mount while connected to the grip, but you need the newer batteries inside the camera. No, not newer, I don't know how you pronounce it. The latest Canon batteries, you know what I mean. When it comes to the Blackmagic 6K, I honestly think all the latest cameras can look a little video-y when they're shot with bad lighting, but with good cinematic lighting, all of them can look great. I guess that's always been the case. So would I switch from an R5? Yes. Would I switch from an FX3? No. There are just not enough reasons. Unless you're a hybrid shooter. In that case, I was transformed. The ease of shooting between photos, barely missing any shots, going to video, slow motion, 8K if you wanted to, RAW if you wanted to, getting the quick clips, not having to change your battery constantly, and everything looking goddamn amazing. It was a treat. You can't shoot photos like this with an FX3. You don't have this versatility with the R5C, and you don't have the full frame capabilities with the C70, although you do have the NDs. The option to shoot photos during video is a bit gimmicky since video is only 1080. I also didn't find a 6K option in the cropped menu, which I thought I would for some reason. But 10-bit all around, 12-bit RAW, and more compressed RAW versions, all amazing, all great, all delicious. And I didn't know this until the end of the wedding, but everything I had shot was shot on the SD card, not even the CF Express card that was inside the camera. I thought there were limitations that would prevent me from shooting RAW or 8K on this SD card, but I guess I just never encountered those limitations. I think it's a beautiful camera, but perhaps too much for most. I think most of us can get away with just using R6 Mark II, whether you shoot products, weddings, families, whatever you're shooting. Sony users don't have to be quite envious yet. Don't they have global shutter or something? It allows them to shoot globally without overheating? I forget. I really miss the NDs sometimes, and the C80 is tempting, but I'm not sure if the NDs are enough to tempt me. I don't care about SDI, and I don't like the mini XLRs that they didn't upgrade. And we probably have to wait another 4 years for the C90 with an 8K option, or it might be cropped, and then the C100. C100, don't we already have that? Test out the camera for yourself, and if you want to see more R5 II content, click any of these videos to see more.